All right. Well, thanks, Tess, for being with us tonight. We're all so excited. Your title for your presentation tonight is really exciting, and I think it really calls out to a lot of us. So Tess McCarthy, everyone, welcome her to our kickoff event for spring 21 semester. She is a SJSU's iSchool alumni, and she views herself as a career transitionist, essentially one who can shape-shift roles into meaningful career that's flexible and seamlessly impervious to life's challenges. Her current title is a digital asset management systems librarian and taxonomy consultant to Walmart, e-commerce. Thank you so much, Daisy. If you are ready to share your screen, we will pass the reins over to Tess.
Yes, it's up and running. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Daisy, you can do it.
I'm enabling it in a moment.
All right, we like enablement. That's actually a good job title for librarians, is enablement.
I like that.
Those are people that are in tech environments who help, let's see, sales teams or other teams find the information that they need so that they can sell better. So enablement, customer success, those that's a really good job to go after as a librarian. So hopefully I get to talk to you guys about some interesting jobs that you maybe wouldn't have, considered. So Daisy, if you want me to share my screen, I could do that. Okay, cool.
I got it up and running.
Okay, cool.
One
Yay.
moment.
And then we have
yes.
chat. Okay, so yay, good. All right, and I'll let you guys moderate.
Thank you. Yes, we will monitor the group chat. Thank you, everyone, for having your self muted right now. If Tess is willing to take questions during the presentation, she'll let us know and we'll unmute ourselves then. But thank you so much and enjoy.
Yeah, it's a short presentation, so feel free to start asking questions after I present. All right, well, welcome everybody, good evening. I am Tess McCarthy, as everybody has as Gabrielle has introduced me, and I'm here to talk to you about shameless self-promotion. And it's not what you think it is. It is not about, talking about yourself or bragging about yourself. It's about
I'm so sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a glitch here.
Okay.
I was having a glitch.
Okay. Do you want me to okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you could share your screen. I'm having technical difficulty.
Okay. All right, I'll share my screen
if you want me to.
Okay,
do you have, is it a Google slide or PowerPoint?
It's PowerPoint.
Okay.
I shouldn't put it on slides, but we could do, yeah. Why, you don't have Office? Okay.
I might be signed out of mine too.
Got it. Okay, well, let me put it on present mode and then we'll go. Okay, so let's see, let's get it on present mode. Yeah, presenter view. Okay, yay. All right. Let's see, I actually had it at Hustling. All right. So shameless self-promotion is not what you think it is. It's not talking about, what you're going to do. It's being what you are going to do, or being who you are, pretty much. So go to the next slide. And yes, I am a career transitionist. So when I got out of library school, I was the archivist in residence at the Center for Sex and Culture. And I processed a lot of adult materials, and I was asking my advisor at the time, I don't think I should be, working in a sex, library or sex archives. She goes, no, go ahead and do it. You know, it's like what you like, you know, it's great experience. And sure enough, you know, I archived over 700 manuscripts. It was an adult movie actresses fan letters. We exhibited it, and I said, oh, we got to redact a lot of, you know, personal information, and it was pretty interesting. And the actress thanked me heavily. And then I would go to these archive, you know, events, archivist think tank, and I would get a lot of flack from people about being the sex archivist. And I said, oh no, I can't be known as the sex archivist. So I was thinking about, like, how can I turn this around, right? And I worked my network. I saw, like, oh, okay, my friend here has an ex-husband who works at the Hoover Institution. What can I do there? And so I I put my resume in front of the guy, and I said, hey, you know, are they hiring at the Hoover Institution? And sure enough, I got the job as a postgraduate intern at the Hoover Institution. And on my at my interview, I you know, I was asked, hey, you're going to be, you know, processing, you know, sex materials. You're going to go from love to war. You know, how do you feel about that? And I said, information is information, and I have a duty to uncover it and to make it searchable, and that is my mission, and it's always been my mission. So, you know, if there's anybody who can go from, you know, a sleazy sex archivist to working at a Republican think tank, it's me. But it's also you, and it's also how you promote yourself and sell yourself, and how much confidence you have. Right. So life is.
Oh, so I got it to work. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. It's okay.
But let me know
Daisy,
when you want to.
We can just roll with it. Yeah, I'm okay.
Let me know when you want to go to the next slide.
Okay. No, I'm good. So life isn't easy. So here we go. I have like a drawing of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And you know, we have our basic needs. We have job, shelter. You know, we have relationship needs. We have, you know, self-esteem needs, and then, you know, of course, eventually we you know, self-actualize. But during the pandemic, you know, that triangle is upside down. We're all just trying to make things work, and we're all just trying to do our best. And you have to be aware that in a job interview, and you'll be on the other side, and you'll have like the world upside down, and consequently, the person interviewing you might have that day too. This is like an epic pandemic. So we don't, we often have to roll with technical difficulties. We have to roll with you know, unexpected life events. And here's, you know, my unexpected life event. I am in LA helping my family take care of my dad. My dad is in palliative care, and we're all trying to just keep him stable. And right after this presentation, I'm literally going to go over and feed him some ice cream. So it is just incredible with the amount of stuff that is on people's plates. So when you are interviewing, I want you all to just think about that, and also think about, like, everybody is doing their best. So yes, so life is actually impossible. And the thing that keeps me going is like my daily motivation. So it's very important to stay grounded, check in with yourself, and really think about what makes you happy and what keeps you motivated. One of the things that keeps me motivated in life and at work is having fun. All right, so here's how I got a job during the pandemic. It was hard. I had lost my job, and this was before the pandemic. So this was sometime in 2019. And I was going, oh my God, I am collecting unemployment, it's not enough to pay the bills. I am literally, here I go again, right? And so I started doing freelance work, and I was doing freelance work on Fiverr. And then I was lucky enough to get a few clients, and they knew that they knew they just knew about me. But before, in between other jobs, I had also been like approached to do independent consulting work. One interesting job that I had was doing something for a venture capitalist. And I just basically advised him that, his grandfather's writings were quite possibly works for hire. And so he wouldn't have really exclusive rights. And I advised him that he should talk to his lawyer. And then that, because I fostered trust with that one person or that one client, my reputation started to precede me. All right. And so then the pandemic struck, and then it was just hard for, anybody to sell their services or work, and, businesses closed down. And one of my target clients were small businesses, and I was about to sign a contract with somebody who just owned a really nice restaurant chain in San Francisco, and all of a sudden he had to close his restaurant, and he was crying, and he didn't know like how he was going to pay his employees. Me being a natural reference librarian and archivist, I just, offered up my skills to him for free, pro bono. I did that during the pandemic in order to, create trust, and not to get clients in a sleazy way, but just to be of service. And hopefully somebody they would know would refer me. So, I mean, that was one of my strategies. And then because it got really hard, I had to do a lot of hustling. And I said, okay, well, independent consulting isn't going to work for me, because you have to market your skills, and then you have to work, right? And as a consultant, you're either doing the work for the client, telling the client that they're doing the job right, or you're doing a combination of both in consulting. And that's the bread and butter of the work. If you're doing independent consulting, oftentimes you're marketing your services on top of doing the work. For me, independent consulting was a challenge because I really needed somebody to do the marketing for me, and then I would go in and do the work. And because I was working 24 hours a day, almost most times 18 hours a day, I decided to get a job. And then I just, did a lot of hustling. And then May of last year, I landed a consulting gig. So hustling, right? I call it work, WERK, you got to work it like a drag queen. But hustling is very important. One of the things I did was that I didn't have really good presenting skills. I still think I could do better with presenting. But I joined the Girl Boss Network, and I started reaching out to other people, other women, and I said, hey, I need practice with Zoom. And so sure enough, I found somebody who would help me with Zoom, and she actually coached me, and she had a lot of good tips. I also reached out to a career strategist. And so part of that plunking down $180 to, talk to a career strategist that I had seen 12 years ago before I went into library school. It also looked like practicing Zoom with my friends. It also looked like practicing my interview skills. I also had to practice not saying a lot. So it was a lot of hustling. And then it was a lot of networking and reaching out to people for jobs that I really wanted. I could talk to you about Workday, and then recently about my consulting gig. So yes, do a lot of soul searching, know yourself. One of the things is that if you do want to become an independent, if you do want to be a consultant, would somebody hire you if you weren't confident in what you did? Who wants to hire a consultant that says, I don't know if I could do this, right? But you really want to be you really have to know yourself, and you really have to be comfortable with setting boundaries, communicating, all sorts of things. I hear a little, okay, sorry about that. And then also when you are hustling, getting your work, I say get smart. So make small scalable changes that you can measure over time that means something to you. So when I was looking for work during the pandemic, I made teeny tiny little goals. And that looked like, hey, today I am going to set up, some Zoom practice calls with my friend Julie. And I'm going to do that by the end of Friday. And I am going to make sure that I don't say, measurable in my practice session with my friend Julie. So yes, so make small, actionable, measurable, and then relevant goals for yourself. So relevant is, for me, fun and exciting, and I basically have to gamify things. Okay, and values. I mean, everybody says, what do you value? Who do you value? But this is really important when you're looking for a job outside of the library world, outside of archives. You really want to find people who you meld with. Otherwise, you work with people who rub you the wrong way, you don't fit in the organization, and then you don't do well. And then if you don't do well, you don't get the good, references that you need. So values are very important when you're doing that soul searching before you go out for those jobs. Inventory. So do a fearless inventory on your skills. And here I have like this illustration of Hall and Oat Milk. That is my drawing. And one of the things that I like doing is drawing. But I also know like the whole plethora of all of my skills. I basically have my skills, my soft skills, my hardcore skills, my technical skills, not just on my LinkedIn page, but on a spreadsheet. So that when I go for a job and say, I want to go for a job as a content manager, I look at my spreadsheet and say, okay, well, I have these skills, these skills, these skills. I can check off the box. Okay, I'm going to go for that job. So do an inventory of all of your skills, your soft skills, your technical skills, stuff that you've done in your library career. So for me, it was, okay, I did cataloging, collection management, I did metadata, I did reference. So I was really strong in those areas, and accordingly, I went for jobs that, mapped to those areas. All right, and jobs, right? I was talking about mapping, and I don't know if anybody's ever done a metadata cross swap, but that's the thing where you have like metadata fields like MARC, bibliographic metadata fields, and then you have, let's say, EAD or mods or METs, and you say, okay, here is, you know, title, and then here is title also in, let's say, Dublin Core. And so you're always mapping one quality that you have versus, you know, the job descriptions. And so if you can do a metadata crosswalk, you can actually you can actually apply for almost every job by looking at your transferable skills. Okay, shamelessly network. I am here to shamelessly network, and I hope that you all shamelessly network after this talk. One of the things that I like people to do is exchange their LinkedIn information. Another thing that I talk about often is that you have to always switch up your LinkedIn your LinkedIn profile. I was talking to Daisy earlier, and I said, yeah, you want to entice recruiters or the hiring manager when you go out for a role. They might or will look at your LinkedIn profile, and you want to bump that up. So just recently, I had a phone interview as for a taxonomy position with Amazon, and I really bumped up my LinkedIn profile and I keyworded it. So we're all librarians, we're all information workers. You have to be exceptional. Well, that's a word. You have to be exceptional at keywording your resume, keywording your LinkedIn, according to the job that you want to go for. See, and did I do that? Yep. Okay, so we're at, 12 slides. That's the end of the presentation. And if you have any questions, I leave the floor to you, and then I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So yeah, so here I go. Believe in yourself. You have to be very confident, I think. Shameless self-promotion doesn't have to be selfish. So you always offer what you can do, and that is actually shamelessly promoting yourself. So if that's like volunteering your time and saying, hey, I've done SEO optimization for a Buddhist meditation website, yeah, promote that. It's a skill that you have, and it's something that you can share on a resume or talk to in an interview, and do promote yourself like a mother. So there you go. Question. Okay, no questions.
Let's see here in the comment box. Okay. If you want to raise your hand on the Zoom options, you can. You can unmute yourself and just chime in. You can also display your video so that we can all see each other as we network now. All right, okay. We have a question here. Go ahead and let's see. I'm going to ask you to unmute, and you can ask your question.
Hi, I have a question for you about, you mentioned something about digital. You did any digital collections?
Yes.
Okay. My question about that, what were some of the software or database that you use for digital collections?
It depends on the client. I'm really comfortable with the content management system Box. I am a Box certified admin. I took like a 13-hour admin course on how to manage files. But it depends on what digital collections you want to manage. So if you want to manage digital assets, you have to get yourself familiar with digital asset programs like Binder, Canto, I work on AEM, Experience Manager Assets, Sitecore, Asset Bank, Islandora. So it depends on what you want to manage. If you want to manage photos, yes, digital asset management. But you know, if you don't have the program, guess what? You can tag and manage Pinterest pages if you want to, you know, get started. So there's always ways to wet your feet. You can use ACDC. You can use Mylio. Mylio is great because it also has AI, and now a lot of digital asset management systems do use AI.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I saw Christopher.
But go ahead, Christopher.
Okay.
Hi, thank you. So I'm finishing my MLIS at SJSU, and I don't know if I want to do special or public librarianship. And I know my real strength is I have a love of antique technology and finding ways to utilize modern technology to bring old stuff back to life. So like, for instance, on social media through Facebook, the other day I helped an organist troubleshoot his practice instrument because it had issues. I've helped friends with 100-year-old automobiles find the parts manuals for them and stuff like that. And I also some of this on my Instagram. If I know that this is not like typical for LAS folks, how would you pivot skills like that or market them?
Oh, that's really good. So I'm listening to you and immediately I'm thinking of appraisal, and I'm thinking of, I'm also thinking of Sotheby's. I'm thinking of all of the auction houses. I would do an informational interview with, because you're reviving old technology and you're repurposing it, I would talk to somebody at an auction house. Do you do a lot of appraisal?
Not really. I grew up with antiques, so I know a bit about a lot of stuff, but I don't feel comfortable yet being able to say, oh, this is worth this much and this is worth this much.
Yeah. There are classes. It's not a class, but there is like a grueling training that one takes to be an appraiser. And actually, that is not such a bad inroad for somebody like you or somebody like us, right? Who's, you know, done a little bit of archives work. I mean, it's definitely a transferable skill. I would find somebody in your network who, you know, at least works at Sotheby's or like an organization that you like. It sounds like it's music, and just do an informational and start talking to people. Okay, anyone next?
Thank you.
We have a question on the chat box. Corey, what organizations did you join in order to expand your network?
Oh, good. I belong to a lot of librarian gangs. So on LinkedIn, you can join BAM, Bay Asset Area Managers. You can join other groups. That's if you want to do digital asset management. You can also join AIM, that is the American, it's IA. I'll type it in chat. It's AIM. So this is a good organization to belong to. It's the for information management, knowledge management. So any KM, you know, any KM type of organizations. DITA, also a good one. If you're interested in data science or Python, I would just join up on those sites. I'm very passionate about, you know, women's rights. Oh, thank you for doing that, Leslie. And I joined the Girl Boss Network. I knew some friends in library school, and they were part of the they were part of an informational professional group that kind of disbanded on Meetup. So you can look for organizations on Meetup. You guys can actually start your own little library gang, and that will just look like, you know, you guys do a meetup, and you can all hold yourself accountable and do mock interviews with each other. What other organizations? I actually have a lot. So you are free to look me up on LinkedIn. You can see what organizations I join. And if you have any questions about some of the organizations, you know, message me. Did that answer your question though?
Yes, she says.
Okay, good. All right, Corey. Yeah, reach out. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can just, you know, send me a message.
Do you have your LinkedIn link
profile? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm happy to share that.
And then if you'd like, we can also share that with our our newsletter that goes out when we do if we do a blurb about your event.
Yeah. And does everybody have like their customized LinkedIn? If you haven't customized your LinkedIn profile, go ahead and do that, because it says you are savvy. And another thing about LinkedIn, if I can share my screen, let's see, control. Okay, let me just share my screen. All right. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so here's the thing. You want your LinkedIn profile to change often, right? Of course, you don't want to be a jerk. So, you know, some of the things that you can do is always revamp this. So you can use your LinkedIn profile as your CV, right? And then when you do your resume, keep it on one page. And that's all of your career highlights in a star fashion. So that's, I'll stop sharing. That's like, it's the situation, you know, the tasks that you did, all of the actions, and then the results. And either you want to speak about the stuff that you did in, you know, volunteering or, you know, your jobs in terms of results that you produced for the organization that you were with. So, you know, I quantify it. I processed, you know, over 15 collections at the Hoover Institution. And here are the links to them on OAC, the Online Archives of California. And you can actually look me up, Hoover Institution, Tess McCarthy. You will see all the collections that I processed. And you really want to put what you've done on resumes and really put stuff that you're happy and proud about. And then everything else, all of that all of that other stuff, you can just simply put it on your LinkedIn profile. And so that you don't have to worry about like whether or not you covered everything. You already have your LinkedIn profile up, you know, on your resume. And if they want to know more, they can go to your LinkedIn profile. But you really want to keep that resume down to one page.
We have 2 more questions on the chat box. We have one from Leslie. She's from Costa Rica and got their bachelor degree in archival science and records management. They're now living in Portland. They're curious about what kind of positions they can apply for.
Okay, good. So automatically with records management, if you're not finding any jobs on government websites, and if you can't get a volunteer gig with NARA, N-A-R-A, you know, that's where I would start if I was doing archives work all over again. I would actually get into document control. I did document control and I became a document control manager. But If you like design and construction, there's document control there. Basically, you're managing the records of a project, and you're handling the dissemination of the records. You're doing your cataloging, let's say, change orders, RFIs, all that jazz. So if records management is your jam, I mean, do keyword document control. Also, another good thing about document control, because the medical profession is just kicking up and ramping up, especially with companies like Pfizer, Moderna, Genentech. They have document controllers on when they do their clinical trials. So you have to think about stuff like that as like current records that eventually do go, that eventually do get filed for records. So any type of record management, doing document control or content management is something to look into and give it a try.
We have some more questions in the chat box. We have, do you get jobs in LinkedIn as a question?
Oh, it's a hit and miss. Okay, so just a couple of weeks ago, I was looking for a taxonomy job. I want to work at Netflix. I want to be a taxonomist at Netflix. And so I pumped up my LinkedIn profile, right? And sure enough, a recruiter from Amazon reached out to me. And I'm like, it worked. But I didn't know the hiring manager, and I didn't really do a good job, with my phone interview, because the thing with Google, Facebook, even Netflix or Amazon, you have a better chance of getting your resume in front of a hiring manager if you know somebody there. So that's why I say networking is important. In my network, I know like a few taxonomists. Are they the networky type? Do they want to help, students like you? I don't know. I know I want to help students like you, because, you may be my boss one day. So, or I might like working with you so much that, I would hire you. So you never know in this climate. So I say no, based on my experience. I often would do that LinkedIn, thing, that LinkedIn easy apply. And you have to get past that ATS. It is the applicant tracking system. And that application system, that system is just made to just filter everybody out. So the way to do it is through networking. I saw Christine, but are we still doing chat questions?
Yeah, Christine has had her hand up, so let's jump in. If you want to unmute yourself, Christine, thank you.
Sure, hello. So I was a little late to the show, I'm sorry. Did you say, are you from Northern California?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm in Dorn right now.
You're what?
I said I'm in Dorn.
Torrance, okay.
It was a Game of Thrones reference.
Oh, okay. You mentioned earlier about freelance work, and I couldn't quite understand what you said. I think you said Fiverr. Was that
Fiverr? Let me put that in chat. Yeah. Fivver, and there are a lot of places like that. So say Fiverr is actually good for all of you to get plugged into, because it's little teeny weeny jobs that you can put on a portfolio. So like one of my things is that I promoted like research, because I like doing research for people. So you set a price and say, hey, I can do research, or hey, I can do keyword optimization for, a website, or I can do this. And it's a good way of brokering your skills and then building your resume. So I would do something like that if I was scrambling for work. It's kind of like the Uber for, you know, information professionals.
Okay. Because I've been having trouble trying to do like an internship because I work full time. So it'd be nice, and I'm trying to like find a spot to volunteer, but you know, with COVID, and so this sounds like an interesting, like a little baby project might be ideal to get some work experience.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it's, guess what? It's smart. It's small, it's measurable, it's actionable, it's, you know, relevant. You get to pick the work that you like to do for people, and then it could be time-based. And it's kind of like, you know, driving, you know, doing anything you like. Say you do like working with physical materials, you know, and you want to be a professional organizer, you could definitely do that virtually. Okay. You know, so I mean, that's something that I considered, you know, when I was, you know, scrambling for work and trying to make a buck. I was also going, okay, well, I can be a personal organizer. I can, you know, be a tutor for kids. You know, Daisy, you like kids, you know, you can read to students on Zoom. You know, that could be something that you broker, you know, on Fiverr to people.
Yeah, I'm trying to do something with media with children, so media librarian. But I think there's a lot of opportunities out there for engaging with the youth in that way.
Yeah, so there's tons of things. Okay,
quick,
anybody?
One more question?
Next? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like archives is a lot of kind of freelance work, and
you can. Yeah.
You can? I mean, it was funny because I'm coming from an artistic background, and I was actually like kind of one of the things I didn't like about it, because it was like constantly hustling and looking for work and stuff and following people and keeping track, and it was difficult in the artistic. So I would imagine in this field maybe people stay a little bit longer. I don't know. Or not.
What did you major in, Christine?
For my bachelor's, or
at SJSU.
At what?
Oh, did you go to? Are you part of SJSU SLA?
Yes, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yes, so I'm doing an MLIS right now, and I have a bachelor's in photography.
Oh, okay. And do you want to do stuff like digital asset management, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, because I think that's, you know, my my skills that can be transferable. I definitely would like to stay in something artistic, not sure, maybe cultural heritage organizations, or special libraries, some kind of archive. I'm not quite sure just yet. It's about that kind of package.
I can show, here's a career trajectory for you and for anybody here today. Start looking for jobs as a digital asset coordinator.
Okay.
Right? Or put those kind of skills up on Fiverr or a site like that. Get connected to somebody in your LinkedIn network who works maybe like at Pottery Barn or someplace that is looking for a coordinator, because that's the entry level position for digital asset management.
Oh, okay.
Then you kind of like have your bearings going, and then plus with your photography background, you know, you're already good at tagging, you know, images, you know how to deal with camera raw, you probably have some Photoshop skills, you can do photo retouching if that's your jam, you can do production artist work, you know, and they manage a lot of the digital files, and they have to be pretty much like a librarian. You can also go for jobs with the job title trafficker. So I really want grads not to get hung up on titles. So don't get hung up on the title, get hung up on those transferable skills, and do get hung up on those things that make you, you know, happy. So if photography is something that makes you happy, you know, go there.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Would you say coding is another field that is known for digital assets management?
So right now, a lot of digital asset managers don't have coding skills. So that's the thing that I want to do, and I still need to do. And if you're good at coding, do put that up on your LinkedIn and show examples. Always show examples of your work. It's the thing that gets people excited about you.
Yeah, I would think, because I mean, I've heard so much about web design, and you know, coding is just part of it. So I was thinking maybe, you know, if you have skills in building websites, that's very useful for e-commerce.
Yep, and that's the thing about shameless self-promotion is you have to put your portfolio up there. I know that, you know, a lot of you guys who are graduating, you're probably doing your e-portfolio. You're going, oh my God, I have to do that e-portfolio. But actually, it is the thing that can showcase your work to get you in the door. So a lot of people, if you do like the Adobe products, I would start throwing stuff up on Behance. So that's Behance. Get yourself an account and really demonstrate your work. So the illustrations that were on my deck, I did on a tablet, and this is like a remarkable tablet, and it doesn't go on the internet, but it digitizes your work and it converts it to SVG files and just makes everything crisp and clean. So I always say, promote your work in any little way you can. And if you do photography, Christine, yeah, show your work on a separate Instagram account, not your personal one, but your more like your zhuzhy one. And Daisy, you know, if you want to show up your coding skills, you know, I would sign up for a GitHub account.
Oh, I that's new to me. So I'm definitely gonna look at that.
And if you do coding, you gotta be very versed in Git. Oftentimes, I do prowl Git to look at you know, scripts that we can write into AEM because it's on, you know, it sits on Java. So
yeah, I've heard of
about
Kaggle. Kaggle is another one I think I've heard about.
Yeah, but but if you are technical, do get a GitHub account and put your Git on your resume, your GitHub account on your resume, because that says, hey, I know code, and here it is, and here's my code up on GitHub.
Thanks, Tess.
All right, we have about.
It says nothing says you're more badass than anything if you have a GitHub account on your resume. And if you don't know what that is, look at some people that you like who do computer science or, you know, Python, whatever, R, and you'll see that they have a Git account. People who design fonts, when I see that they have a Git account, you know, a GitHub account, I go, ooh, man, they're savvy. So, you know,
like Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he have a GitHub account? Somebody did. You know.
We have 2 more questions in the chat box. One's from Catherine. How long do you keep your volunteer projects on your resume? And the next one is from Lizette.
Okay, so how long? As long as it's relevant and if it's exceptional. So my work at the Center for Sex and Culture, it was a archivist. I had the title archivist in resident, and it was a residency. It's important in a lot of jobs where they want to see that you can manage a lot of content. But it just says, oh, hey, you know, I did this. I don't know. Exceptional candidates are always doing something. So, I mean, recently when I was, out of work, I mean, I did volunteer work for, a meditation center in San Francisco, and I did keyword optimization. I put that, in my resume if it was applicable to the job description. So as long as it's relevant to the job description, and as long as it's really demonstrative of, like, it has to be, the work product has to be really exceptional, then go ahead and put it on. If it's not relevant and it's old, and it's like old technology, and it's like an old PowerPoint, don't do it, because nothing, that says you're stuck in the past and you're only holding on to glory days. So you always want to be relevant. You always want to show off new skills in a volunteer capacity. And then the other part of that question was what?
Lizette is asking, what advice would you give someone wanting to shamelessly promote themselves, who is trying to get a job in archiving, but who has not had an archiving job yet, just maybe has taken a few classes?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a really good question. The thing about shamelessly self-promoting is not about talking about what you do, it's demonstrating what you can do. So it depends on the job description. I got that archives gig by doing an internship at SJSU. I did the librarian internship there, and then I did the archives internship there, and then I became like a really good glorified volunteer. Then that got me a paid postgraduate internship at the Hoover Institution. It is hard. One of the things that I was thinking about is if you are into genealogy research, that requires a lot of archives work. And if you were to broker your skills and say, hey, I'll do, genealogy research for you, that's skill building for a resume for a position as a budding archivist. So that would be my strategy. So if you're interested in, let's say, ancestry.com, and you don't have any archive skills whatsoever, anybody can kind of like make a few bucks an hour by saying, hey, I want to do, genealogy research for you. And that's actually good to put like on your resume if you don't have any, serious archive skills. And then the thing to do is that once you have those skills like on your resume, and you're asked, hey, well, did you do this at an archive? No, but this is, definitely archival research. Just make sure that the job description maps to what you've done. And then when you do the interview, you really want to demonstrate what you've done, and you want to talk about it in terms of what you accomplished. So if you feel like you want to fire off some, like ideas or talk about some things further, go ahead and look me up on LinkedIn.
Great.
Because that's a hard one. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Tess. It is 4 minutes till 7:30. We do have one more question in the chat box. Do you have time to take one more?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go over. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a text that, my dad's sleeping.
Well, we want to honor your time with us.
Yeah.
Before everyone leaves, I will put in a survey link for us tonight. That would be really helpful for your programming committee.
I did see, Ariana, were these internships online?
And then the one right before is Jamie. He has a curiosity question.
Okay.
He's coming from an in the industry perspective. Where might someone who has a background in guest service and entertainment fit in?
Ooh, yeah. I'm thinking of concierge. When I saw this industry, guest service and entertainment, like what entertainment?
I worked for the Walt Disney Company for 6.5 years, and before that I was a stage manager. So all of my experience is in that world. Okay. And I won't even go into all of my job descriptions because there's quite a few. Anybody who's worked for that company, you have a very diverse background.
Yeah, I was thinking of NBC for you. So I would start trolling the jobs there and NBC. I met like somebody who was from NBC when I was doing like the Boxworks, you know, and that's a big convention, and I don't know if they're on my LinkedIn, but please look me up on LinkedIn. And if I know somebody from NBC, I will introduce you guys. So that's the thing that I want to extend to all of you, is that if you see that I am, you know, just, you know, 1 degree away from so-and-so from Salesforce and so-and-so from Microsoft and so-and-so from Google, I am going to just I'm going to introduce you, but then you have to do the legwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can, I mean, because that's the thing that I do at every time when I network, is that, hey, you know, I don't really know this person, you know, but I'm willing to introduce you. And then maybe that's all it takes.
Hey, I will take anything at this point, since I'm very much have such a random background. I'm like, this is a totally new industry. I know nothing.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere, and you have to start with like the breadth and depth of your work. And like, you know, you might be interviewing me if you're at Netflix ahead of me. So, and then I'm like, hey, you remember, you know, I gave that talk. I know. I mean, there's always go with what you're passionate about. You know, always go for something that, you know, you like. Like for me, I mean, there are all, like, really, like, after this meeting, write down your fantasy jobs. Seriously. Leslie, Jamie, Christine, Daisy, Gabrielle, who else is here? Linda, Christopher, Kimberly, Catherine, Ariana, Chip, Madison, Corey, everybody, write down your fantasy jobs, right? And then write down what kind of boss you want to work for. Write down the people you want to work for. And then when you're trolling for jobs, see if that all maps to your fantasy job, the people that you want to work with, and the stuff that you want to accomplish. Because I guarantee you, there will be some kind of energy, and you'll get through the application process faster. You'll start, you know, doing the interview loop a lot faster when you do something that you really like.
Have you seen an increase in jobs right now because of the pandemic, or no?
So content. So here is some there are some, you know, jobs that I think librarians and archivists should start applying for. Content manager, enablement, customer success. All of these techie jobs that, you know, require a human person to go ferret, research, or optimize, or organize. So any kind of job where you see a librarian fitting in, go for that job. So let me type that out. It's content manager, right? I'm not like typing. Do you want to go for content manager jobs? You want to go for customer success. So that's helping people, you know, deal with technology. So a good, you know, job for people out of grad school is Salesforce, right? You can actually get Salesforce training, and you help people with the CRM, the customer relationship management program. Somebody asked me, you know, what kind of, you know, programs should you be learning? You know, if you are looking for a job and you're desperate and you want a job, I would invest in Salesforce training. Because if you just type in Salesforce in LinkedIn or on job boards, you'll see a lot of interesting stuff. And then the second thing that, you know, if you are interested in that, look for somebody who has a connection, you know, with somebody at Salesforce. Get your resume in, make sure that resume maps to the JD, the job description, and then you'll see that you'll have an easier time getting your resume in and getting called for an interview. Turning it in, you know, through the system is you know, you're playing a waiting game, and it's like dating, you know, it's not the way to go. I do have a little story. Oh, okay.
Thank you for all the tips on what to search for. Those are good tips.
And also, like, you know, when you get a Zoom, you know, interview, your Zoom background, how you look, the lighting, what you're wearing, your makeup, everything is the new 3-piece suit. So nothing, I mean, if you're on the other end of an interview and you're fumbling around in a Zoom call, people are not going to want to hire you. You need to practice Zoom like you would not believe. You need to start practicing the keyboard commands. So, I mean, I still need a lot of practice doing Zoom. And if you don't have practice with a buddy. All right, dead silence, crickets.
Thank you so much, Tess. Everyone give a round of applause for Tess McCarthy. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing all your wonderful wisdom and experiences. I can't thank you enough for jumping in and helping us out with this.
Oh, Gabrielle, thank you for reaching out to me. And anybody who didn't get a chance to, you know, ask their questions, please look me up on LinkedIn. You can, you know, DM me. I'm also on Instagram. I am _morning poems, a lot of other things, and archivist on Twitter.
Archivist, I love it.
Yeah, I'll put that in an email. I don't know.
Great. I could share your handles if you'd like with our thing that we send out. I can be in email contact with you, Emily, or excuse me, Tess. I was looking at someone else's name. Let's see, if you guys want to get involved and network in different ways through SJU, volunteer with our student group. There are multiple ways to gain different skills. So putting in that plug. And we have recorded this. It will be up on our YouTube channel, and it will go, there might be a link that goes out via our newsletter. If not, just check out our YouTube account, and it will be there within, you know, a few weeks or so. And thank you to my Slask team. I couldn't do this without you. All of you guys have helped make this possible, and thank you all to the attendees who showed today, helping us have a wonderful event this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Yeah, and I just want to tell you all, like, anybody in Special Libraries Association, I mean, you guys are the vanguards, you know, people who are